Alright, here's a new addition to the website. If you're looking at this, that means you're probably interested in trying to cobble up some kind of an intake system for your own motorcycle. This is a Holley 2110 bug sprayer. 2-barrel downdraft carburetor. Not the best carburetor in the world, but she was cheap on eBay. The intake, as you can see, ain't pretty at all. It wasn't pretty to begin with, and after almost 10 years of using it, it definitely ain't pretty now. Let me give you some of the close-up parts. See if I can do this here thing. Down here at the front, this is where the control cable actually comes in. It actually comes in from the bottom through this hole right here, and I use the lock nuts to keep it in place. And then I thread the actual cable and the barrel in through here, through this little doohickey, and smush them together. And you'll notice that it's pretty worn. I may have to come down to try and figure out a better way to do that, but it's been holding up for 10 years, so I ain't gonna bitch too much. Been experimenting with thicker gaskets. I have a tendency on a cold day, the carburetor will pop back and blow out the base gasket. So you'll notice that I have rubber inner tube here with cork and rubber gasket material underneath, and there's RTV on the bottom, in between each, and on the top where the spacer plate goes. And then there's another section of rubber inner tube, cork, and then the carburetor sets here. And the carburetor gets a thick chunk of RTV too. And like I said, people may laugh at it and all that, but it works. It works really good. I mean, it's cheap as hell. I haven't had any major problems with it since I've been running it. Over here is where the fuel comes in. Fuel comes in from the side, from the fuel pump. This is the accelerator, and this is the choke. And what I did was I just took and ran the choke rod out to the side of the motorcycle and hooked it up like that. What I'm going to do before I mount this critter is I got to re-RTV the PVC. This is PVC pipe to the original stock Goldwing boots to get a nice airtight fit. And as long as you keep everything airtight, hell, you could use a damn milk jug if you could fit it in there. It's just a matter of keeping everything airtight, so you're not sucking air. Very simple design. Fits up under the motorcycle, no problem at all. The biggest pain in the ass is I got to take the carburetor off in order to slide the intake in, and then put the carburetor down on top of it. And then I've got my bolts that hold her down. A very simple design. Very dependable. Like I said, I've been using this setup for almost 10 years now. And anybody can do it. If I can do it, most definitely anybody can do it. So, stock air box. Give me a shot underneath. Like I said, looks like Frankenstein's mama. But, works okay. I'll try and get some videos of the motorcycle running once I get her put back together. Alright, have fun. Don't be afraid to play with your motorcycle. It ain't like your wiener. Ain't nobody gonna yell at you about it, alright? So have fun, be safe. Hoorah. Alright, got the carburetor and the manifold, everything put back in. You know I'm a firm believer in the power of blue RTV. I love that shit. Smells good, makes me lightheaded, and I like using it. Shows you a good example of how I've got the intake manifold, the runners running up into the airbox. Stripped out a damn bolt here. You guys got to watch it if you're going to dick around with these Goldwing heads. Two things will happen to you if you ain't careful. Like me, you'll either pop the nut off or you'll strip it out. Well, in this case, I stripped it out, which is about typical for me. So I take a small piece of steel I got laying around on the floor, jam it down into the hole, run my screw down in on top of it. It's not a load-bearing part, and it gives it enough to grab, so it's all good. Then I run a little bead of RTV around it, just for shits and giggles. So this is what it looks like from the side. Carburetor's in place. Ain't it beautiful? Not really, but that's alright. She's sitting in there. I'm not going to torque down the carburetor until after 24 hours, give the RTV time to set up. But you'll see that it acts like gives a pretty good seal around it. And that's pretty much it. Rocking and rolling, baby. You know how it is. When you're pouring, you got to do what you got to do. Alright, everybody. 24 hours later, I've had the carburetor on the intake for a while. Gave the RTV blue time to set up. So, you can see how beautiful this critter is. I already had her fired up this morning. Bike's been setting for about 4 months, so I had to prime the carburetor a couple times. And I think I got her half-ass dialed in. So, let me go ahead and show you what everything looks like. Take a look down in here. You'll notice that in the front, I've got my accelerator cable ran to the front of it. Also got a return spring on the other side. I haven't hooked up my choke yet, but I'll work on that. And let's go ahead and fire this bitch up. Nice and loud, that's the way I like them. Ugly as a cop, but I'll tell you what, these old Goldwings, you keep oil in them, they'll run forever. Even with a cobbled up homemade carburetor sitting on top of them. Still got a little bit of a stumble, so I'll probably have to work on that. But I'll be honest with you, I think she's about ready to put the gas tank on her. Take her for a road trip. So hoorah! That's how you put a Holley 2110 on a Goldwing using plastic, nylon and PVC.